now.
right now. There you go. Let's see. Joy, I think it will be automatically being banned out by Malaysia here. I don't think they want to let the chance for Vietnam to take the
Joy?
joy.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're definitely not going to see the Joy opened up again. It went 16-0 up against Malaysia. And just like that, the Joy is going to be the first ban for Malaysia. They've definitely learned their lesson after losing to it twice. But the Diggy will also be banned out first by Team Vietnam. This is an approach that we've seen so many times throughout this tournament so far, Momochan. And it's always in the first phase. Indonesia banned the Diggy in both Game 1 and Game 2 up against Argentina. We saw the Diggy ban as well come through for the side of Cambodia versus Namibia.
Yeah, look at that. The first ban
Yeah,
towards Joy. I don't know. Maybe Vietnam here. They have another, approach for the ban phase, but there's no Leomord as well. I think they can try to secure it Valentina if they want to.
They can definitely look for that.
Yeah, so they can ban out the Martis or maybe Benedetta here, or maybe even Kaja. Or
Ooh.
maybe they can take that Kaja as the first pick here.
You're right. The first pick is still on the hands of Vietnam. They
Yep.
can choose to play the Valentina, pick it up for themselves. They can
Yes.
also go for, like you mentioned, the Kaja, the
Kaja.
Martis as well, that we've seen banned out, but we haven't seen played or picked yet in IESF 2022, which is quite interesting because this hero has just gone a buff, and we've seen a whole lot of it early on in the patch, right? We'll see once again here for Team Malaysia as they are going to be banning here. That's the Kaja coming out. The hero we just mentioned.
Yep. So there's no Kaja, there's no Divine Judgment. There's still 1-1 left as well, right?
1-1 as well. We
1-1.
also know that right now Fanny is up for grabs.
Oh yeah, we saw Fanny from Indonesia just now in the hand of Tas, and
Pretty scary.
it's so scary though. And I think whoever teams that against Indonesia, they have to really, really respect Tas Fanny here. But no win-win as well for our first game. So it's gonna be another contest for Leomord and also Valentina.
Leomord already banned out by Team Vietnam. The Martis, the Valentina,
Oh, sorry,
two
yeah.
heroes
Valentina.
still up for grabs. We've also
And
seen
Martis,
that. Well,
yes.
technically, Momo-chan, you would think these prio heroes would be the prio, but for Team Malaysia, we saw a whole lot of crazy last time.
Yeah,
We
I
picked
know.
Franco and Minsathar, and the Franco went to the jungle. So, Chiku guys, this is a man that we've come to know just loves crazy picks. I think
Yeah.
crazy is an understatement at this point. He's just a mad genius, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't though. It's a very coin flippy style of play. And Malaysia have opted to go and ban the Phobius, leaving the Valentina up for Team Vietnam.
And Martis even though. So is it gonna be Martis or is it gonna be Valentina?
I think Valentina is a bit
I think it's Valentina, yeah. Malaysia, they can take another hero such as 2 OP hero. Maybe it's gonna be Martis or an Eve or Benedetta for Formace or Eve Lapu-Lapu if they want to. There's Lapu-Lapu as well, right? We know how strong Formace with this Lapu-Lapu. Because even though they banned out this Digi, at least Malaysia, they don't have to worry about the super aggressive and like additional movements with they coming from Joy, right? With the electrifying bits here. They won't meet Joy in the first game. So is it gonna be Lapu-Lapu or Matilda as a shadow pick from Malaysia's side? With Martis or it's gonna be Batrix. So there's no Martis as well. Interesting.
Yeah, now the big question for me is, why did Malaysia ban out that Phobius? It's definitely to set up for a pick for themselves.
I
but
think there's some kind of a respect ban because from the first meeting with Vietnam, they also ban out the Phobius.
yeah,
So maybe there's maybe there's another a top global in the Vietnam side.
maybe, perhaps,
Maybe,
right?
yeah.
We'll see, but also definitely they are trying to set up for a dash hero for themselves. Vietnam, though, instantly picking up the Fredrin with no hesitation as they are going to look for that final pick in the first phase. They can go for the Roamer right now if they want to go for something safe. They can also go for the gold lane, but they do opt to hover over the Kufra, which is an interesting pick up against the Mathilda. They can actually stop a few movements, but man, they actually opt to go for the Estes. Gnart has been a very solid support roamer. He's always playing the Angelas, the Rafaelas, and now the Estes as well. These healing heroes have been his
favorite?
His comfort, yeah.
Yeah,
his
maybe
favorites.
his comfort as well. Yeah, but yeah, Estes in the hand of Vietnam, it means even though they didn't bring, even though they hasn't picked Faramis as a as the roamer or maybe as a mid laner here, but Estes heal, we know how annoying it is, right?
It is.
If we talk about Estes, maybe we know that it's all my Venus favorite hero, right? But it's
Got the
Vietnam,
blackest
so
skin.
yeah, but it's Vietnam. It's a different story, and we will see what will happen with Malaysia because they already pick up that Eve as a high ground hero for defensive or maybe even for the team fight.
Yves is actually going to be the hero picked up by Team Malaysia, knowing that Moon, this is his most comfortable hero when he does play the mid lane. With the Beatrix, the Mathilda, and the Yves, you kind of understand that, again, Team Malaysia, they are just going for that safe kind of strat. Usually we see Malaysia go for these crazy picks when they are in a comfortable spot, right? When it's the upper bracket game, when it's the second game, when they've already won the first game as well in the best of 3 series,
Yep.
they like to go for some crazy picks. We saw the Ruby jungle, we saw the Franco jungle earlier as well. But now, because they're in the lower brackets, up against a team that, again, they've beaten before. So Vietnam has some data on Malaysia, knows how Malaysia likes to play. They're opting to go for the safer route. The front-to-back composition, Beatrix, Yves, Mathilda. But I like how they're doing it because they're giving Chiku that space to pick up that final pick.
Agree with that. So this is maybe that's what Malaysia strategies has to be because they are really relying on Chiku and also especially Momo. Going into the late
Momo
game.
Chan?
No, it's a Momo with the
It's just Momo.
you know super double O.
It's
like,
Momo.
Momo.
Momo. All right.
Momo. And Carmilla, shadow pick from Malaysia, so it's gonna be Carmilla for Chiku, guys. Pretty sure. So we will see what will.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Are you sure he's not going to go to the gold lane?
No.
Yeah,
Of course no.
Yeah, we don't know. At this point, it's whenever Todak plays, whenever Malaysia plays, it really feels like you don't know where they're going to go, right? Especially
Yeah.
when Malaysia here, when they pick up something like a Carmilla, a hero that we usually don't see on the hands of Chiku.
Yeah.
When you talk about Chiku, when you mention Chiku, the first thing that comes to mind, the first heroes that come to mind are these flashy heroes, these game-changing heroes, or just, honestly, the heroes that don't make sense, to be honest, right? He
Yeah.
makes them work like no one else. But Team Vietnam now, looking at this composition from Malaysia, this front to back, Vietnam are trying their best to try to split that composition with the Cho. They have that additional CC, that single target, and obviously that knockback with the Way the Dragon to split these members out, to isolate them, and look for an opening.
Yeah, if we take a look for the crowd control that Vietnam has here, they have the slow effect from the Astas, but is it gonna be enough? Because Cho, like Mirko mentioned it earlier, it only has a single target CC here with the Way of Dragon, with the knockback here. So I think, oh, there you go. I was asking where's the Martis here, and there you go, Martis for Formis.
Ah,
And this Carmilla will goes into the hand of Chiku, guys. Like you said, Mirko, if you talk about Malaysia, we don't know where they are want to go, right? They can do anything. They can play anything they want. And with the especially Chiku ever played that Ruby jungler, remember, for the first day?
how could I forget? That
Yes.
pick was insane, and what made it crazy was they got a win, actually, with that Ruby jungle up against Vietnam.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
they're still trying to go for a little bit of crazy here with the Martis in the XP lane, not a jungle. So it's another curveball over to Vietnam. We'll see how Vietnam handles this crazy pick, this cheesy pick.
Cheesy pick.
But what do you think about the draft?
I don't know. I'm so curious about the SS pick here. I would like it will be effective, especially for the big team fight for Vietnam, but all the best for both of teams.
Well, let's jump into the land of dawn for game number 1 of Vietnam versus Malaysia. The second time meeting here, this time in the lower brackets, an elimination match with Chiku starting on the orange buff and Joga on the purple buff. Yum's already trying his best to invade the enemy jungle to force that retribution so that Chiku can look for a bit more in the enemy orange buff. Yums jumps in. Retribution not popped up though. Joga now just hitting Yums back.
Okay, but the purple buff will be taken by Gunnar right now, and Yums need to use the flicker to flick out because there are 3 members who chase him around.
That's super unfortunate, right? Gnart was the one who actually got the purple buff.
Yeah, but at least it's not in the hand of Yums, right?
True. It's not in the hands of the enemy team, but still, you know, right now Chiku will definitely have a bit of an advantage when it comes down to the farm and the XP game. As you can see, already Chiku going so aggressive into the enemy jungle. 3 members from the side of Vietnam have already rotated in. Chiku still going for it, committing onto it, and finds the retribution.
Oh!
Looking for more. Nart going to be immobilized, but decides to back off with the guiding wind popped up by Yums.
It's enough for Chiku. At least he can get the orange buff here, but Joga trying to giving a pressure in the lane for Momo here. But meanwhile, the slow effect from Nart is just, I find it really disturbing, you know?
It's very disturbing.
It's very disturbing. It's very slow. I think maybe around 70% slow effect, I think.
It's an absurd number, honestly, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
As an Estes as well, early on, getting that purple buff will somewhat will help you, definitely. But it's gone so fast right now for Nart. He doesn't have it anymore. Turtle has spawned in, and like I mentioned, Chiku will have a bit of an advantage here. 1 level, about to be 2 levels once he secures this turtle for free. A good choice by Vietnam, though, a wise choice as they decide to not contest. But because of that now, with a 2-level lead, Chiku is going for the purple buff, steals it away from Joga, who's still level 3. And Joga's just not having a good time here in his own jungle.
Oh my god, it's gonna be a disaster. And the first blood for me suddenly got punished with Vietnam here. Meanwhile, there's gonna be a one real manipulation towards the player from Malaysia. I need my help, really need some help, really need a backup follow up coming from the Vietnam. But Yums is gonna stop, and he still have the guiding winds to make him to stay alive.
Clean movement by Yums here, and you can see they bought so much time and so much pressure is alleviated off of that bottom side where Chiku can actually go and steal away that orange buff, invading the enemy jungle and putting some more pressure on the Claude that's currently already behind of Momo on that Beatrix.
And with the first blood goes into the hand of Vietnam now, Malaysia, even though they play so aggressive, they trying to invade all of the jungler that Vietnam has, they have to come with the better strategy, I think, or maybe a better team fight here, because if they keep losing from the damage here, I think it's gonna be a disaster because Vietnam will keep snowballing and snowballing.
That was painful, man. They praised his wrath, but for me, still decides to actually walk up to lane. Joga was in that XP lane, looking to go for that lane gank, but will not decide to commit. You can see Chiku, guys. Look at his positioning here already. Trying to go for the purple buff, knowing that he is, again, ahead. But look at the bottom side. River here. His head is going to be caught down, gunned down by Momo on the Nibiru. Meanwhile, Chiku, guys, he steals it again. Joga hasn't gotten a single buff this game.
Maybe Malaysia, they realize Vietnam, they don't have any proper tanker, you know.
Yeah.
There's no really a very tanky hero that can try to cover the jungler here. Especially Joga needs some item for the damage here for Chao. And now Formis and Chiku will play a bit objective here, taking the first turtle, and the king try to contest it, but it's gonna be a little bit fail for the king.
Well, look at the bright side, right? The king wasn't able to steal it away, but that did give Joga a bit more space to actually claim his first buff of the game. The orange buff was secured by Joga in that bottom side. It's insane. 5 minutes, and he's only taken one buff because of the amount of pressure that Malaysia have been able to put onto Vietnam's jungle side. But look at the bottom side. Chiku once again caught on the 1v3, but it's actually going to be Vietnam who's going to be caught around Malaysia's collapse. Nart going to be jumped on here with real world manipulation as well. Blazing duet to the back lines, but it does not deal enough damage. IMU popped in, Momo jumping in as well, but it's a 1-for-1 trade, a 2-for-1 trade as Momo and Moon are caught down. That's going to be a 4-man Malaysian team that's taken down in that bottom side, and a triple kill for Need My Help.
Okay, they got two members in the first, from the team fight in the bottom lane here. Snart was being able to be shouted down by the player from Malaysia, but after Hehe comes, look at that. He's trying to go in and go back with the battle mirror image that he has, and also very, very good the way of Dragon coming from Joga. It makes all of the members from Malaysia suddenly being shut down by Vietnam.
Crazy. Again, you could see that for Malaysia, they actually used all their resources on Nart, the roamer, which enabled the rest of Vietnam to really punish Malaysia. With Need My Help getting free space, they were able to get that triple kill on him, and on a Valentina, that's a snowball here as well. 2 ultimates burnt up in that bottom side. Meanwhile, Forme is already having a tough time up against the Claude and Estes combo, and it should be another siege for Vietnam for free up top.
Okay, and now Momo still under pressure, still having an under pressure in the bottom lane. It makes that actually all the players from Malaysia need to really help him. And now the Wave Dragon connects as well towards Momo, and the town even connect, but Momo still able to survive.
Uh-oh, the King gets baited in towards the Nibiru's Passion, but it's a 1-for-1, a turret in the XP lane, traded for the kill on the XP lane, or the King. It's still going to be Malaysia who actually finds that conversion, though, in the bottom side. So it is going to be still an equal trade. It's a good trade by Vietnam as they actually opt to rotate away from that gold lane towards that top side of the map for the turtle. And this is just so much pressure building up again. Moon is going to be taken low, forced to back off now. The rest of the members finally coming back into this mid lane and looking for a fight. Momo has just respawned. They can't really look for anything too crazy yet. And that's it. That's the end of it.
Yeah, I think it's not good as well for Malaysia if they are trying to force the team fight here with Vietnam, right? Because it seems that they are not ready for the skirmish, they are not ready for the team fight that's been brought by Vietnam, and especially they have to make, giving a lot of time as well, space for Momo to get the item first. But look at that!
That's a lot of damage. Yeah, onto Nart.
Yeah.
So much damage here, but again, he is an Estes right now, and that's going to be the Circling Eagle. Onto Need My Help, who isn't going to be threatened here, as Chiku has rotated up top. There's a lot of sustainability and tanky members. Joga going to be caught here, gunned down by Momo. Still has a lot of HP, and he gets out with the help of the healing coming in from Nart. Blazing duet by Hehehe, but he's going to be caught in the real world manipulation and the damage from Momo. Chiku taken low. Need My Help, looking for the damage, but the snipe from Momo all the way from that top side. Blind into the bush, finds its mark, and Malaysia are here. They coin flip back to a lead.
Did you see how Momo and Chiku survived from the team fight in the top lane? Let's take a look at the replay, okay? Finally, Chiku actually almost be able to shut down Joga, but Joga still able to be healed by Janart. But when the Blazing Duet comes in, and the real world manipulation from Moon helps the member from Malaysia here. Meanwhile, Momo with the Renar's Apathy, the sniper, he knows that he was there.
It's just a brilliant read, and it's a brilliant team fight by Malaysia.
It's a feeling,
It shouldn't be.
It's a hunting feeling.
Yeah. It shouldn't be a brilliant fight for Malaysia, knowing that Vietnam had the lead. The fact that they were able to outplay that based on just mechanics, micro, just shows the Langar style that this Malaysian side has with the Todak roster. As Formaze rotates back into that mid lane, they are looking for mid control before contesting for the Lord.
Okay, and now they are trying to make some team fight here with a heal that's coming from Jannar. The Blazing of Moon Goddess connects to 5-member, but hey, suddenly gonna shut it down. Real manipulation versus real manipulation. Meanwhile, Moon and also Momo with the Renner's Apathy. And now the Circling Eagle connect as well from Yums, trying to shut down the King as a frontliner of Vietnam, and it's gonna be the double kill for Moon here. Oh my god, 3 members from Vietnam suddenly disappear.
You know, I thought they were going to go for the setup. They cleared
I
out the
know.
mid-wave, and nope, they didn't set up before they cleared off the mid-wave. That last minion wasn't necessary. They just went straight on towards Vietnam, and even Vietnam were not prepared for that engage. It came out of nowhere, and you can see, again, the items now being built up by Malaysia as they progress and increase their lead. Momo picks up that top side turret as well, the tier 2. And Momo-chan,
Yes.
this is just
Oof.
insane, right? Malaysia, the way they play is they throw a curveball at you 24/7. You think they're going to set up. You think they won't take fights, and they always do the opposite.
Yeah, and Momo already got his level 12 here. Meanwhile, there's gonna be a little bit skirmish in the bottom lane. The King trying to defend the bottom lane here, but Joga will try to clear the minion as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Hehe is not really in a good positioning here, but Chico again and again trying to force to take the orange buff here, not let Joga to get any physical damage additional coming from the buff.
Chiku has got to be the most annoying player to go up against. He
I know,
goes to the
right?
orange buff, and he instantly rotates towards the purple buff. He doesn't care about the Lord. He doesn't care about the turret. Oh,
He doesn't care about his friends.
Yeah, he doesn't care about his friends. He only cares about making Joga's time in the Land of Dawn horrible. The Blazing Duet was used up there, but a little damage coming from Nibiru's Passion,
my
sniping
God.
him down, gutting him down. Even though he wasn't in range, he flickered out late. Malaysia have found 3 again with no setup. They just barge in that mid lane. The base turret wide open, vulnerable for Todak. Malaysia to take. Now the base wide open. Joga trying his best to clear the minions out. Malaysia will just opt to go for that top side base turret. And here it is, that bottom side as well. Chiku, guys, is hunting Joga down.
Oh my god.
As long as Joga doesn't get to play the game, Chiku's going to be satisfied. The
Ooh.
snipe by Momo. And Chiku, he's not letting go. He keeps on going. He hates Joga, man.
He has his eyes on Joga, and look at that. There's no recall. There's no going back to your home, Joga. And now look at that. 3 members from
Oh my
Todak.
God.
They are chasing into their own base. And oh my god. Joga, what are you doing? Now he's trying to survive. Meanwhile, it's going to be a slow effect coming from Moon. And Moon will take the point kill. And what a buying time coming from Joga, right? Try to at least make some time for his friend to show up.
I have no idea here why Joga's always targeted down, but Need My Help is going to be taken down by Formaze
Hey, hey.
here. As you can see, Chiku, guys backing off.
Momo
Formaze
comes
bringing
in.
them back
Momo's
together for
coming.
Chiku to come through. Momo with the snipes, looking for it, finds the king, but it is going to be Hehe who jumps out with the battle mirror image. Chiku still solo. Going to be taken down by the Appraiser's Wrath. Another 3 for 1 as Gnart is going to be targeted
Ooh.
down. The base wide open with the mini waves pushing in that mid lane. Now with Joga respawning back in, they're looking to defend, and they will be able to. But Momo-chan, what the heck did Joga do to Malaysia to be chased down like that?
I think that's personal, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? If this is not personal, I don't think that they will trying to chase him until the base of Malaysia, right? And now Malaysia, even though they tried 2 times, tried to finish this game as soon as possible, right? But they failed. So they have to wait for the next Lord. If they want to finish this game, they need the help coming from Lord. But if you take a look from the item, Hehe, it's already have the win of nature. But the team fight, I think Malaysia can try to bait this Lord.
Uh-oh, circling Eagle onto Hehe, but there's no follow-up right now. They're going to melt the king down, who is trying his best to sustain around the Lord, but Vietnam backs off. It's a 1 for 0, and it looks like it's a free Lord for Malaysia.
There's some distractions from Mace in the top lane, so this is why all the Vietnam players, they have to back off a little bit. Another orange buff still will be done by Malaysia. And now Vietnam, they have to survive, they have to protect their base, and it's gonna be hard for Vietnam. Because no one can touch Momo.
No one can touch Momo
No
or
one can
Moon.
touch me.
Oh,
Sorry.
Momo-chan is on the caster desk. How are you playing and casting at the same time? That's a question I've always wanted to ask you, but we'll find that answer very, very soon, as it looks like Malaysia just wants to siege the turret down, wants to end the game right here with Chiku, guys, in the midst of it all, in front of it all, just taking all of the damage. Meanwhile, Formaze and the Lord will just target the base down like it's nothing. It's a 1-0 start for Malaysia in the lower brackets.
Wow.